we are not using business logic. So that is the reason
Mm. Yes, yes,
we'll not
yes.
go with 75%. In case
75%
while you are using 70 code any business logic in
business logic.
triggers, then we should not send that trigger to production without 75% coverage. In case if you are using business logic,
Yes,
okay, we should
yes.
try with positive as well as negative scenarios in coming in test classes. That means in test classes here we have written a few logics here, right,
Yes, sir.
which are related to this business logic. So
Yes.
while we are doing test, they're asking us to go with more negative scenarios as well. For example, here, if you
Okay.
take any mobile technology aspects, so here if it is more than 100% $100, then they'll be getting discount of $5. So here we can do the testing with records having more than 100 USD prices. But also we can try less than 100 rupees also. We need to check either it will work or not.
If the price of the mobile is less than greater than $100, then the discount will come at $5,
Yes,
at the $5.
yes. But here, coming to the business logic, here we gave only which are related to this function, right? So we gave greater than or equal to 1 lakh. Same thing we gave here. So here you can go with negative scenario also.
Okay.
So here 1 lakh we gave, right? So instead of
90,000.
yes, instead of 1 lakh, we can give 50,000 here
Okay.
in first class. 1,20,000 we gave, right? Instead of that, you can give 50,000 and you can check it. What is coming or not. So where we can get that is running successfully or not, here we can see
Yes, status.
in status. If you give
The
yes, if you
function.
give less than 1 lakh, then it shows as status in red mark. You will be getting one into
Yes.
mark here. So third one, test class also should create it with load testing aspect by creating list of data and then inserting and then checking how things are working instead of going with just single record. So that means let me show this once again. Hmm. See here in test class also we are using some data but not hard coded data. Only static data we are using static data in the sense which are not in the database. So that's
Okay.
what they're saying here. And one more, test class must have asset function. Asset function, yesterday we have seen. End of the function, we have seen asset function here.
Yeah, that's it.
Why we
That's
can use
it.
this asset function?
Because we want to share that one.
Yeah, to compare the old value and expected value. Old value in the sense recently, which is going to store the data in database. So by fetching the ID, we can get it. So every test class must have asset function to ensure the testing is going fine or not. So in some rare scenarios, we can skip it. So and always use at is test before test class because if you use at test, then only we can get this option.
One test.
And always use test method keyword before test function. Why? They're saying this one.
Yes.
Why we are using this test method? Test method will differentiate the functions from normal functions to test functions. If you give this test method, they can work on only these test functions. Normal function in the sense here we have normal function here. Apply discount is a function name here, right? So it won't take this function. It will work on only this function. Okay,
Okay.
it will make separation from normal functions to test function. That's it. That's the reason we are using test method there. It's like a rule and best practice. Try to avoid using existing data in database. Just now we have seen. While we are discussing here test classes, variable name, I mean object name, sorry, in a field of object name, price, we are taking some other names which are not getting stored in database, because if you are using same information which are stored in data, that will be getting impact on production. So here we'll take it only static data, not dynamic data. And this one, earlier for ease test, we instead of ease test, we used to use this command. Now they are not using it. This is only for your information. To fetching the data, we
Data
can,
equal to.
yes, see all data equal to true we were using, but now they are not using it. We can go with is a test.
Okay, the see all data equal to true also we can give the starting of the test
Yeah, we
class.
can use, but earlier they were using it. Now they are not using it. And now they are not using it means Salesforce says that they're not supporting for this kind of code.
Okay.
And this one, always use test dot start test and test dot stop test in every test function. This is our future topic. We can see in governor limits. What is governor limit and all we can discuss in future class. But we can go with test dot start test and test dot stop test.
Okay.
This only difficult to understand. We can see in future classes. And if we need to test multiple scenarios, try to use different test methods as possible, because this helps to have good control over the test class execution. And then we want to see which function is giving what percentage result. We can comment other functions and see the impact. That means here, while we are running the test, we can see which lines are not getting covered, which lines are getting covered, we can see here. One minute. So here we can see these lines are not covered, these lines are covered. So
Mhm.
above thing is only possible if we divide logic in multiple test methods, then that will be easy to understand. See here, for everything we can divide for test methods here. See, for first logic we have done test function 1, test function 2, like that we have divided and we have done it. So same way, whichever lines are not getting covered, for that we can try to do it with separate function. Don't do it entire logic in single function.
Okay.
Okay. And also while working on dev console, when we run test class, it shows as code coverage button, function by function, how much percent code coverage is happening. We are as usually we are doing the same. And try to create separate function with annotation at test setup, which is found on creating sample test data and create the data inside inside this function. So here a slight difficulty will be there. They are saying try to create separate functions with annotation. That means here every function we are giving with annotation. Starting of the test class we gave annotation, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And test functions we have written here, and in this we have written the logic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what they are saying is, if you go with in this way, at test setup static void function for data. That means this is the function name. This is a function name, and here we are writing the logic. That's what they're saying. See, if you go with in this way, what will be happen? Every time you need not to write this logic in every function.
No, okay.
So here we are not using that one test annotation we have used starting of the class. And here in test function 1 we have written this logic, and test function 2 again we have written this logic, test function 3 again we have written this logic. But if you go with like this, at test function static void function data, and whenever you are writing another function, that time you need not to write this one. Entire this code will be work for another function as well.
Oh,
That's what they're saying. See, try to create separate function with annotation at test setup, which is found on creating sample test data. So here, why we are using this one to creating sample data only, right?
yes, sir.
So if you go with at test setup, then every function you need not to write this logic. It will take automatically just because of this line.
Test set. Okay.
Okay, and this is rare scenarios, but we can do like this also. But normally what we can do is for our better understanding, in every test class we can write it by manually.
Mm-hmm.
This is only for our information. You can, if you want to try it, you can write once.
Okay.
Okay, and now they'll ask in interview questions, what is the difference between test setup functions and test method functions? So test setup means functions, they're just creating the data. This function will be just creating the data. But coming test method, they'll this function for testing, and as well as we can write the logic, not just for
Yes.
data creation.
Okay.
So see here, test setup, this keyword, they're just creating the data. This one,
Yes.
they're just creating the data. But coming to the test method, they're not only creating the data, they're creating business logic as also. Got it? They're saying
Yes.
test setup and test method differences.
Yes.
Okay. And now this is like our information again. Data created by test classes and are never added to the database. It's temporary work. You understood, right? This one. See, whichever
Yes,
we
sir.
created this one, it will be stored in only in test class. Once it is insert here, and once trigger is completed there, that data will be disappeared. That data will not be
Yes.
stored in database. This is like undo button in Excel sheet or Word file, etc. As soon as enter process is completed, trigger or apex class or code coverage data will be removed like undo button. So once we have here we have run this test class, right? Once it is run, data will be disappear.
Oh,
Okay, but here we have one doubt. So in case if we can send mail also from trigger. Okay, if there are cases, we can send the field update, we can do the email update, etc., etc. So if this is the case, first we can send the mail to the concerned person because of the trigger. Once test is done, will email revoke or not?
After sending that one.
See, 1 minute, I'll explain once again. See here in test class, we are storing some data, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are storing some data. Once it is done, it will be removed it will not goes to database, right?
Yes.
So this is static data. So in case instead of this data, if we send any mail, once trigger is done, like this information will come back, right? It will be disappeared. So same way,
Mm-hmm.
will email disappear from the email box?
No, sir.
So that means, why do we need to write a test class? That will be waste of time, right? Unnecessarily, they'll be getting a lot of mails whenever we are doing the test. That is correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we are doing the
Yes.
test, unnecessarily they'll be getting the mail. I mean, I'm saying about in user perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, to skip that one, we can bypass that information. Always bypass those things like integration calls or validation or email sending actions in test class, as you want to do this only in real time execution. So we can do that. This one, whenever we are making this kind of email actions, etc., etc. Even any integration calls, those things we can avoid by using this code. Just assuming there is a test class and they are maintaining entire this one as code, and
Mm-hmm.
in this code in this code if there is any mail content or any field update or some other thing is available, then we can go like this. If test dot is running test double equal to false, then in this way here we can write code for integration, we can write for email, we can write code for field update, etc., etc. So here you may get one doubt. Test dot is running test. In this, which kind of syntax we are finding out?
Is before, is after.
No, just go back and remember.
Start. Yeah, yeah.
Even
Is test.
even today also, today starting of the session also we have discussed that.
Is test.
No, in this format, this will be the class, this will be the function.
Test is the
Class name and function
class.
name, we used to run
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
class, right, without
Yeah.
writing the trigger. Same way here, we can go this kind of syntax. Same syntax will be repeated going forward. So that is what I'm saying. So here you can consider this one as class name. You can consider this one as function name.
Okay.
And here, what is the class? What is the function in this way? So this will be the function.
Mm-hmm.
So we are telling that we are, if this is running, then what will be happen? It will be shows as true. If it is true, what will be happen? It should not be run. That's what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you are confusing, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me explain again. Here, whenever you want to run any code for email sending or any integration sending, that time we will go with this test. A test dot is running test. So this one, don't delete it to use before test, stop testing, etc., etc. This is new command. like how we were using class and my function, class name and
Okay.
function name. That format it is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you follow this one, what they're saying is running test means this function. This function is running or not. If this function is running, this function is running, this will be satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
So when email is running, then it should not go for email to the
Fine.
user. Again, I'm
Okay.
repeating. Hope you're getting confused. See here, true or false. Why we can use whenever this line is satisfying, that time it will be true.
Yes.
Whenever this is not satisfying, that time it will be false.
False.
False in the sense this email should not go to the user.
Okay.
Okay, so if it is running test, if it is running test, it should not go to user email. That's what we are saying here. If it is running, this will be true. That's
Okay.
what they're saying, right?
Yes,
Here
sir.
they gave email code. If email code is running, that time it should not go to email to the user. That's what they're saying.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so these are
Mm-hmm.
all rare scenarios. This is only for your information.
Okay.
Okay, and now as of now we have run the test code to show only single record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in case if I want to upload bulk records, how can we do that?
Okay.
See here we have only single record logic,
Mm-hmm.
but here test functions also we are running with single record.
Mm-hmm.
In case if you want to upload bulk records, we can call as bulkified records upload. That we can see here. So we can work on same logic, same test class, and just I'm just copy and pasting to you, and just check your settings. If it is not working, just message me. I'll give public access. Then watch the video. Once you watch the test class video, then only you can understand this because it is
Okay.
interlinked with this code. We are
List
just
file.
we are just modifying the same code for bulkifying the records. Okay, so here
Mm-hmm.
I'll just explain once again. So instead of explaining myself, just you can explain. If this is the test class, what does it mean?
Is test. That means it's a test.
Okay,
Test class.
okay. So we
Okay.
are telling the Salesforce that we are making test class. Okay, and what is the next line?
Public class pulsar demonstration test. The reason this is for public
Okay,
access for the
okay,
class and class name, class test name.
okay. But here public need not write because in
Yes.
test classes we won't write. Okay, so if you write also nothing will be happen. It's a just access specifier. That's it. Okay, next
Static. The test
same
method
static
void. Test
test
method
method
void test method.
test method void. Instead of test function one, they are saying my test function one. Okay, there is no difference. This is also test function one only, but this is in different format.
Okay.
And same way,
Pulsar.
same like list collections here,
Variable.
same like list collections we are going here because
Okay.
okay, one minute, let me explain here. Variable p we gave only
Mm-hmm.
here only one record we can upload. right?
Mm-hmm.
So that time
Mm-hmm.
you can go in this kind of functions, in this kind of format. But
Mm-hmm.
whenever you are uploading bulk records, that time you can go like list collections.
Okay.
So this is a list collection, list parcel
Okay.
by this means here which kind of data it's going to be get stored.
A subject.
Yes, exactly, a subject. So list of a subject and
List
list
of
for
bulk
bulk
record.
entry and new list of a subject. So here entire this list of a subject will be considered as data type, and this one variable, this one new.
Oh, it is
Yeah,
new.
same
Okay.
format only it's coming. Just see.
Okay.
So that is the reason I'm saying from here onwards, whichever we discussed in fundamental classes, same thing will be repeated.
Oh, okay.
Format will be repeated. Just check once again. So this is a list of a subject, this is a variable, and this is a storing for variable.
Mhm.
Same way here you can see. Here you can see this is the data type, and this is the variable,
Mhm.
and this is to store the variable. But when they are storing single data, that time you can go like this. But
Mhm.
while we are doing
Bulk.
multiple
Bulk.
records, then we'll go with list objects like this.
Okay.
Simple. Instead of string, we are using object name, but variable name we are changing it. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Now create a new records. Now you can see same way, whichever we have discussed here. Create a new records. What we said,
Valid name.
where
Okay.
p
This is
dot name.
nice.
That means here this is a variable.
Yes.
This is a variable means why we are using p here.
Cursor like
Yes, it's
starting
starting with
word.
p, so that is why I'm using this one. And dot name in the sense in pulsar bike object there is a field called as name.
Okay.
So same thing here. I'm just taking p. You can take it as a where p also no issues. Okay.
Mhm.
So p dot name, I'm taking one name, and p dot price I'm giving one value. Only for testing I'm showing this. And next one, list for bulk entry, add p. Where can we see this line? Just remember once again. While we are learning about list collections, how to add the values in list collections?
Don't have that.
Let me show for your understanding. See here.
Add.
For
Yeah.
list
Yeah.
collections, we
Valid.
should have a variable name dot add. In that, we used to give the value, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
here we are taking list values only, right? Here.
Yes.
So that is the reason to update these records. How can we update list records? By using add keyword.
Add key. Okay.
Okay. So here P means a subject. Here
A
variable.
subject.
So here Suresh and 200 is going to be stored in this place.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And first one we have done. First record we have done. Now for second record. For second record we are just taking instead of P same code just pasting here, but instead of P I'm giving P1, and P1 name is
No.
Harish. P1 price I gave this word, and instead of add P1 I give. So now
Hmm?
you may get one doubt. Why? Why can't I give here itself P1? Just think.
Like,
List will be having index, and index value will get start from 0, right?
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so that is the reason here I'm not making 0, but instead of making 0, I haven't gave any value, single value I gave. And what is
Yes.
serial number 2 will consider as 1 as 2, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
that is the reason I gave P1 here. So list collections, don't forget here. List collections. Okay. Don't worry, I'm just explaining here. Tomorrow again I'll store the data, and tomorrow again I'll explain this one. Okay. Today I'm just explaining this. Tomorrow practically we can see.
Okay.
Okay. So two records we have created, right? So that means multiple records. Now here, while we are storing single record, we gave insert keyword, DML statement, that one insert keyword, and where this one we gave. So coming to here, insert, instead of where we are going with a subject. Understood, or any
No, no,
confusion
no,
here?
no. So far, I'm good.
So here earlier we used to give insert and where right? Instead of that, we can give insert, and here where
List.
means list of bulk entry.
Yes.
See here,
Yes, sir.
same thing here we followed. So insert list of bulk entry, then trigger will come to the picture. That means two records will be entered. So two records has to get a discount column, whichever we discussed in trigger.
Yes, sir.
So now once trigger comes to the picture, what will be happen?
System ready.
No, no. This is additionally we are doing it. What we are saying is, before entering the values, what are the values we'll be getting it. After entering the values, what we are getting it. So before entering the values, what we'll be getting? Only Harish 120 will be getting it.
Yeah. Yes.
After it is getting saved, what will be happen?
Um, they
Yesterday we have
can
discussed.
form
Once
one and
once employee join in
old,
the organization, what will be happen?
new and old.
No, employee ID will be created.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
here once they are entered, once we have created, these values will be getting it. Once it is get saved, along with these two values, we'll be getting ID as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now they are saying system.debug, and the list we created, whichever list created, they are just asking names. I mean values they're asking.
Mm-hmm.
So list of bulk entry means these values will get stored here, right? So those things they are
Yes.
asking here. And again, store IDs of records which you want to test as per sampling technique. So for sampling testing, we need IDs.
Mm-hmm.
So ID, record ID, and same will give bulk entry with zero ID. Zero ID in the sense here what we can get it.
Starting
Yes,
one.
first record will
First.
be getting it. First record
First
and
one.
first record ID will be getting it. That thing will
Yes.
be getting stored here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it, sir.
And
Yes.
this one lines are very simple. Only four lines we have, but understanding format will be very long. So how we
Oh.
have written here ID and record ID. Same way, ID in the sense you can go with object, and record of Pulsar bike from database. From that recently whichever ID got stored, that ID we are just fetching here, and that ID
Okay.
equal to we are fetching the data like this: name, price
Oh, his
name,
name, price. Okay.
Pulsar bike, and they're asking ID.
Oh,
Once,
particular
yeah,
ID
yeah.
details.
Once they're getting ID, that record will be get stored here.
Okay.
And here,
Excuse
same asset equals, we are just comparing the values. Here amount, and here whichever we are getting the value in this place,
me.
in this place. So what you can do is today again just watch that video, or else I'll send private instead of private public video I'll share it. Just watch yesterday's videos. Yesterday, once you watch yesterday video, this code tomorrow again I'll explain. Once you watch yesterday video, because this will be interlinked of yesterday video. We are
Okay,
just expanding same code. So once you understood yesterday code, then we'll explain this one again.
sure.
Because why I'm explaining in this, we can check DMS statement, we can check database issues, and then we can see system.asset equals. So that's the reason I'm explaining. So whatever we discussed in previous classes, same thing it is repeating here. So same way, whichever we are discussing here, that will be repeated in future classes.
Okay.
Okay. So just
Okay.
check that previous class either it is working or not. I'll check once again.
Yeah, sure, sir. After 10 minutes, I will
Yeah.
text you.
Bye, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.